Learn to listen when it's grown men talking, cause real spit you don't find that often. Learn to listen when it's grown men talking, cause real spit you don't find that often. Every discussion from experience, and hopefully within it delivers some deliverance. It's all facts and opinionated, from the west where that real spit originated. Brothers truly trying to save a soul, provoke thought so we can really designate a goal. We on that grown man scribble, the ball in our court with command on the dribble. This is something that'll help us show, cause it's something that'll help us grow. We see exactly what the people need. Now welcome to the show, Spitting Policies. Welcome to the show, Spitting Policies. Welcome to the show, Spitting Policies. Learn to listen when it's grown men talking, cause real spit you don't find that often. Learn to listen when it's grown men talking, cause real spit you don't find that often. Spitting Policies.
Welcome once again to Spitting Policies. One more again. We wanna do something. Start this one off a little bit different tonight. We want to do a 32-second moment of silence in the honor of Kobe Bean Bryant, his daughter, and all the other people that lost their lives on Sunday. So if we can take a 32-second moment of 32 seconds of silent. Thank you. So we want to just wanted to pay homage to one of the baddest dudes that ever laced up a pair of basketball shoes, and his loss and the loss of his daughter and the loss of all the others that was on board is felt across the world. It's global. So we just wanted to do that for one of our own here in Los Angeles. And now we want to just jump right on in. So as y'all know, I'm Big Kev.
And I'm Trevor the Barber.
And I'm Kanoom Esquire Alexander.
Thirsty How.
Thirsty How.
That is me.
So,
but also we also have one of us is missing, but was beautifully replaced for today. Irvin, let's give him his props. He's right about now. He should be traveling over where about? Would you say, Kev? He probably is what?
Europe, I believe.
Europe.
I don't know
UK,
where he is at
else.
this exact time.
But he's congratulations to my boy, our friend. We applaud him and his accomplishments. He's on tour with the game right now. He's gonna be gone, and I'm sure that about 2 or 3 of y'all gonna be missing him. But it is what it is, Irv.
Yeah, he's still not off. He ain't off. Hey, we got him, Mary. We got him. He don't even trip, bro.
Anyway, but yeah, Irvin's not sitting next to me. However, I have someone that's far more attractive than Irvin, a lot cuter than Irvin, has great conversation, an awesome personality.
Why are you looking at Irvin in that light?
I'm talking about her. I'm talking about her. Why you? What?
Can I change my seats?
I said, wow, really? This ain't musical chairs, right? I mean, come on, Kev, for real? Tear your wall down. Anyway, we're going to allow Kanoom to introduce this beautiful, awesome, interesting, talented, gorgeous, fine.
Okay.
Why you playing, man? Why you playing? You don't you scared of dating, so why are you
Wow. Sorry, my bad.
Goodness, we can't even have company.
I can't uplift my sister?
Yeah. See, I think I'm
appreciate
gonna
all
have
of
to
that.
sit. See, I think I'm gonna have to change
Man.
seats. They don't
Well, I
even
think
know
we
how to-
both gonna change seats because I didn't know he was looking at Irvin in that light. First of all,
her, brother.
Well,
you on that shiny ball.
not I, but I brought it to everybody else's and got their approval to bring on one of my good sisters. And according to this topic, I thought she would be the professional to say how do we remain faithful. Janet Dyer is a licensed marriage and family therapist. Her specialty is her business is called The Intimate Thoughts of the Black Man. And I had the pleasure of meeting Janet some years ago. She did a men's symposium. It was called
The Man Behind the Mask.
Yeah. So it was a great event. It was men getting in touch with their emotions and expressing themselves. It was a great event. It was an all-men event, and Janet spearheaded that. So her specialty is with us as black men, and we don't get the adequate, that's why I love her, we don't get the adequate therapy and things that we need to keep us whole and healthy. So I want to introduce you all to the lovely and courageous Janet Dyer.
Thank you. Thank you, men, for having me. It was an honor for just for me to be here, to be a part of Spitting Policies. Grown man talking about stuff. So just to be asked to come on the show and to express my view and my opinion, that's an honor. Thank you for having me.
You're very
You're
welcome. Thank you for coming.
Well, we brought you here for a reason.
Okay. It's
And
not
a
for the
reason.
policies.
It's not for the policies.
Okay.
We brought you here because we as individuals, not only men, but just as individuals, how do we, we're gonna start kicking, just get right into it. What do you say? When you don't have to tell us about your cases, but if you want to, you can. I know there's a client and client and patient privilege.
Confidentiality.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
We don't want to break the HIPAA law. But what would you subscribe to if there was an infidelity problem within a relationship? What would you say what would you recommend?
And it's interesting. I work with a lot of couples and black men couples. And when couples come to me, that's one of the things that's usually the issue. There's been some type of infidelity within the relationship, and that's why they're coming. And because now it's a chance that I'm going to lose my partner. So how do we fix this? And there's no quick, easy fix to infidelity and how to get past it. But like you said, how to stay faithful, or what would I prescribe?
Yeah.
My thing is, you got to get to the why. Why? You can't fix anything without finding out why it happened in the first place. And with infidelity, this is what's interesting about it. There's different viewpoints on what cheating is, what cheating is not. And this is what I see a lot. And some people will say, well, that's not cheating. I was just talking on the phone. I was just sending pictures. They were naked pictures, but I literally, it's grown folks here. I didn't go up inside of her. So I wasn't cheating.
Wow.
And then literally, but then the woman is like, yeah, but look at the pictures. Look at the conversation. You sending pictures of your private part, how can you say that you were being unfaithful? So it starts there. What is infidelity? And then each person have to actually define that within the relationship before you can even get down to, well, you cheated, you didn't cheat. What's the definition of infidelity? So you have to kind of start there.
Go ahead.
Would that be clear definition based upon a couple?
The couple, and not just the couple, but individually, because I may say you cheated, and you will say you didn't cheat because I didn't have sex with her. But Yeah, I saw pictures. I saw conversations. You guys went to dinner. You guys went on a away trip, but you didn't have sex, and you're still saying I did not cheat.
So
It was just
But don't-
conversation.
Don't you think for a man, cheating is about having sex? I think hear me out for a minute. I think when a
flinched.
woman
You
About
got-
to,
you
yeah, I
got
seen
nervous.
it. I don't even know if I
He
want to
got
even
nervous.
ask anything tonight.
a woman can, because she's about her emotions and everything like that. I feel like a woman can emotionally cheat, right? We just talked about it, like
Okay.
emotionally, because a woman is so in touch with her emotions, it starts there. Like when a man just goes there and it doesn't really, it's not really an emotional thing. So he just, like I think we were talking about last week, it's just sometimes you're just doing it for sport. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So that but I think a woman gets to cheating when she just emotionally just entertains. Cause I get it sometimes. Like, yeah, my work husband. So I'm like, work husband. You know what I mean? Like, how you low key cheating on me? I mean, I know it's done out of fun,
Right.
but you're confiding in this other man about personal and intimate possible issues, and I feel like that could be cheating. I mean, do you feel that way? Or I don't have a work wife.
A work wife.
Yeah, we don't normally do that.
Maybe.
Well, I know your business partner, so I hope that he's not your
Your
work
work
wife.
Yeah, well,
I was gonna say that.
we
but
have
I was
interns,
like,
too.
Okay,
that
okay.
alone.
we have
So,
interns.
but
too, so.
let me ask you a quick question, and you can jump right in. So, do you have over the years found that that's where most of the cheating begin is at work? Is that where most of your
A lot do, because it's usually an individual that's in close proximity.
proximity, right?
Right.
Where you
that
spend a lot
you're
of time.
seeing but then sometimes it's because you went out to a bar, you went out to a club,
Mm-hmm.
and you just hooked up with someone. But a lot of times when it's developed over a period of time, it's usually someone that you work with or
Right.
a long-term
Yeah.
friend, and it developed into something. But I do want to address what you mentioned about the emotional cheating, that women can emotional cheat, and then were you
definitely.
alluding to that men can't?
No,
or
I'm not
don't?
saying, but we would take like 15, 20 things to make us emotionally invested. To me, because men, we're just wired for the game. You know what I mean? We're not. It takes us a longer period of time to get really attached to
Okay.
attached to someone. I think our main thing is the child ours. That's where we get frantic. Like if we're having a child, like is it my baby? You know what I mean?
Now, I'm going to address that, the emotional cheating. Women will connect emotionally, but men do too.
Ah,
Men
Okay.
do too, and then I've had individuals to say to me that one person in particular, this was some time ago, so even if I tell this story, they won't know, no one would know who I'm talking
You
about.
can just write down their name for
I-
me, so I can. know
I'm
who
not
it is.
doing that.
Okay.
I'm not doing that. So,
It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
so
Or maybe it was. I don't know. Go ahead.
this gentleman, how he ended up cheating is because it was an emotional attachment, because he began sharing what he was going through and what was happening in his life, and he had mentioned that his wife was busy. She worked long hours. So when he was going through things, and it was the daycare provider. So when he was going through
I didn't
things,
sleep with the daycare provider. Hold on.
no,
I
not
didn't.
you.
Oh, not me. Oh, okay. All right.
But
all right. All right.
he became emotionally attached because he
Wow.
felt that, and it's based on personality, because just because you're a man doesn't mean that you don't get emotionally attached quickly, or you don't need to be emotionally stroked, or like men, they want to be respected. They
Yes.
want to feel that they are important.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
sometimes
I
when
agree.
a man is dealing with certain issues, it could be work, it could be his kids, it could be finances. And if a woman is listening to you, it's like, oh, you know, it's going to be okay. And providing
Stroking
that
my ego.
ear,
Yeah.
Stroking your
my
ego.
Yeah, I like that.
And then he will all of a sudden find himself.
I
She's
agree.
easy to talk to.
Right.
Yeah.
She gets me. She
Yes.
understands. So what we think about emotionally cheating, it may be she's stroking my ego,
Yeah. Gotcha.
but then it's still an emotional attachment.
Right.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
before we go on, we want to let our audience know that you can call in, and we encourage you to call in, and whether it's a statement or a question.
I mean, we got the
Or-
professional here.
Yeah,
that should call in
exactly.
and ask
So
questions.
please feel free to call in if you got any statements or questions, or if you know her personally.
Oh,
So don't
that'd be
hesitate.
nice.
And the number is 213-270-1969. I never thought of it. Okay. So right back into
What?
it's the
What?
number.
What?
It's the number.
Okay. That. Okay.
It so happened to be on tonight's show. I
Yeah.
never paid no attention to the last four digits of the number. 1969.
Oh.
See?
Well, hello. How you doing?
Hello. How you doing?
1969. So
You're right.
what is this show about? Oh,
Well, tonight, you're on it.
I'm sweating. Okay, all right. Infidelity. Ooh, okay.
Right.
So.
So, go ahead. Go ahead.
Go
P.
ahead.
Okay.
I'm excited.
Your turn.
They're both excited.
I'm just
I
like, cause you know what? It's like P was saying, we were saying last week, we cheat for different reasons. You know, women, and I think, the old saying is, men are forgiven and women aren't. Because when it's like knowing that your mate have let another man tap into, certain things that only I was supposed to be able to do. So, and then we're visual. We have played that in our mind, what you did to him, what you allow him to do to you, what y'all did to each other, and also pillow talked all at the same time. And that's what frustrates us. And even when you try, it rarely work, to try to get it back.
Reconcile.
Yeah, it rarely work, and it's usually because of the man is still struggling. And then it sounds like I'm talking from experience, because that next intimate moment that you have with her, all of that's going through your mind. And I'm just saying, because we not saying it's me, but we talk as men, and we're visual. So I'm sure you run across those type of. So we have a call, our first call.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have our first caller. Please state your name,
Hey,
your
fellas.
question, and your comment.
Hey everybody, it's Takasha.
Okay.
Tasha.
So,
Hey,
I have
Takasha.
two views on this one.
Okay, please share.
So, the way you don't allow cheating, or the way you don't cheat, is you don't allow yourself to be in that predicament. Case in point, the work husband. You don't go hanging out, having lunch with him, crying on his shoulder because your spouse isn't doing everything that you think
I
he
agree.
should do. You don't go and cry on somebody else's shoulder because
We give you a point.
just like, I'm sorry?
I said we all here give you a point.
No, we give her a point
We give you a
each.
props on that
Yeah.
one. Yeah, a point each.
Yeah,
Because
I
you
agree.
Let her
got your props just
finish. Let her finish. Keep talking,
now.
girl.
Kevin is giving her. We uplifting
Keep
our
talking.
sister.
Keep talking.
Because then that allows the person that you're crying on shoulder to say, oh, so he's not doing this. Well, I'll do this and reel her in.
Right.
And then next thing you
Right.
know, you've got Dexter St. Jock
Yeah, what?
taking the place of your spouse.
Dexter St.
Who is that? Who's
Yeah.
Dexter
That's
St.
the
John?
work
Dexter
husband.
St. Jock is from Raw.
Oh,
I'm not familiar. I'm not familiar.
What was your second? You had 2 points. That first one was great.
The second one is, as a woman, you can be doing everything that you possibly can to please your man. cooking, cleaning, throwing it back and forward in the bedroom, whatever it is that you feel that
Amen.
you need.
Hallelujah.
But if it's in him, guess what?
Oh, I see
It's
what
going to
that is.
happen. No matter what you're doing, it's going to happen. That's it.
Are you
Thank
applauding?
you.
Are you applauding
That's
that?
true.
Thank you. I love your comments and statements. I really do. Janet, what did you feel about those?
I
What did
agree
you-
with her.
Oh, Janet, totally. The professional agrees with you.
I do, especially on the first
Thank
point.
you.
When you start making a connection and speaking to someone else, especially that could be a potential partner. I won't say opposite sex because it could be the same sex. And
that's
telling
another
all your woes and trouble about your relationship, you're crossing
headache.
boundaries that can end up actually, like you said, you can be in the arms of that other person. That, I mean, that happens so much. And
So
then,
often.
so often. And then, like you said, if it's in a person to cheat, they're going to cheat. You can be doing everything that you think you should and everything, because I think last week you mentioned about, or someone mentioned about being in with the right person. I think it was you.
Yeah, it was,
Janelle.
I
Being
was.
with the right person is one way to keep you from cheating, but that's not necessarily true.
Oh,
And the reason why I say that is because you can be with that person that's perfect for you. But circumstances, relationships, they actually go through different shifts. And
Right.
it could be your right person. Your relationship can go through a shift because, say for instance, now you're middle age and your parents are aging and you have to take care of your parents. Or you have teenage children, now you have adult kids. Or you had a transition in your job. All of these existential issues within life is going to affect your relationship even though you're with that right person, the person of your dream. And so when your relationship take a shift, you have to be even more aware of what's going on with you. So one thing that I would like to say is to keep from being unfaithful. It starts with self-awareness. Not so much of the other person or how you fit within the relationship. It's for you to be self-aware. Yourself, where are you located within your life, your world? Do you want a monogamous relationship? Being honest with yourself. Is polygamy better for you? Do you want an open relationship? Or you're just not ready to be in a relationship? Where are you in your life? And it starts with self-awareness. Being self-aware all the time.
Yeah.
And it will keep you from even like sharing information with the guy at work or the woman at work. And if you're self-aware, it's like, okay, I know I'm vulnerable. So if I'm going to you telling all my problems
we have another caller.
about my
Check.
relationship, it's going to make you vulnerable.
Hey, we have another caller. Hey, caller, please state your name, your question, and your comment.
Hello?
Yes, hello.
Yes.
Okay, can you turn down the device you're listening to the show on? Because we're
Please.
getting feedback.
Yeah, don't.
Your name, your question, and your comment, buddy.
Go ahead.
All right. Hey, how you doing?
Good,
My
how are
name is Cedric, and I just I guess I have a comment, and I'm looking for some resolution.
My
To
man.
trying to make sure I stay on the right track. I have been on the other side of this in both ways. But what do you do as a man when you're in a business that requires you, to deal with, the person of the opposite sex, the female? And I mean, the truth is, women are very aggressive. Like, at the end of the day, we can say, hey, I mean, other than do what the Bible say, flee from temptation, what do you do in the sense of when, I mean, your business requires you to, to deal with these individuals and they're constantly throwing it at you? What do you do? Say, hey, no, I'm not going to, provide and make money, or what do you do? And I mean, you constantly fighting it off day in and day out. And I'm telling you, man, the pressure is real out here. These people, when they say the thirst is real, it is real.
Well, man, it sounds like we used to work together or something, because that was my thing. Is trying to knock it down and, no, I'm just joking.
He was ducking and parrying because he was joking because he was catching it. Oh yeah, let me get this.
Don't hold back. Now give it to him.
And it's like octopus orbs. But
Never should have promised it to me.
That's a good one.
Trevor, you're in the business that you deal with a lot of women, but I don't know if you've ever been in a relationship.
Well, me personally, Cedric, the best advice that I can give you is what an old gentleman once told me: never dip your pen in company ink.
I like
Man,
that.
look here. Now, one thing I know, Trevor, is you know me, and company ink is all over my. You know
Don't
what I'm
dip
saying?
your pen in it.
Yeah. But my thing is this, and I heard what they said about boundaries. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to establish boundaries, build rapport, be customer friendly, all in the same token, and at the same time make your money. You know?
Okay.
What I'm saying?
Well, here's the thing. What's more important to you? Because a moment in time can cost you at least 18 years of suffering. So, and I've also heard that a peace of mind is more important than
A piece of
...
A piece
So,
of,
what do you value more? Do you want your growth and your prosperity, or do you want to have a moment with this person? Because it's a law of physics. Something has to be sacrificed. Are you going to sacrifice your money, or sacrifice a moment of feeling good?
Right. I mean, honestly, when you put it like that, of course, it's easy, and it's one of those things. Literally, it's easier said than done until you literally like got somebody,
But then also,
hey man,
not cutting you off, but also it comes with maturity.
Yeah.
Because it was plenty of times, I'm sure we all sacrificed at that moment, and we just we gave in to the feel good moment. So it comes with maturity, the growth
Right.
and everything, and as you see what the which one outweighs the other, which one is have more substance out of the
Right.
two, then you start making different decisions and different choices.
Period. And the last recommendation for me is you have to look at a person from a pre and a post moment perspective. Okay, if I look at you now, that's pre. Okay, yeah, you're all good and tantalizing, but if you start thinking about what are going to be the repercussions of this, dealing with
Right.
this person, is that worth it? So, in closing with that is you also have to look at a person from a pre and a post sex perspective.
Can I
Is it
add?
worth
Right.
Yes, please.
Yeah, we want your
Expert.
And
You're the
and
expert.
something that you said about boundaries, and that's actually key, even in the workplace. And I agree with what you gentlemen was saying. And you do have to set clear boundaries, but you also have to know your intentions, because sometimes we don't have clear intentions and we leave that loophole and just say it just happened. But when you know your intentions, if your intentions is not to dip your pen in company ink, then you set those intentions and you make clear boundaries, and you will have that reputation of, you know what, don't even try him because he's not about that. He's going to tell you, no, he's a stand-up guy. Then that's the kind of man that I want, because he, everybody's been throwing it at him and he ain't catching none of it. But when you set clear boundaries, you're going to have a reputation for that. But if you have a problem with boundaries in any area of your life, you're going to have a problem with setting boundaries when it comes to women. Just like any other. If you have boundaries with your money, you may have boundaries with women. So you have to know your intentions, set your intentions, set clear boundaries where that there's no mistake from anybody. No misunderstanding.
Thank you for your call, Cedric, man. I appreciate that.
And good
Really
luck.
exciting.
We'll be praying for you, brother.
Yeah.
Hey, pray hard. Pray hard.
Pause.
But I agree with what you all were saying, and being in so many industries, well, being in the hair industry especially, for doing hair and everything like that, you get a lot of women around you at a particular time. But I think sometimes we like to leave a door or window open. We never say like, hey, I'm in a relationship, or you don't even have to say I'm in a relationship. If I remember I was in a relationship, and I was having a conversation with a young lady, and I can clearly see that she wanted to go further than just our regular conversation. So I just mentioned, like, yeah, me and my girl seen that movie too. That was crazy. And then that let her know, like, hey, this dude is in relationship, instead of like just playing like you not. You know what I mean?
But then at the same time, P, you also have those women that seek out men that's in a relationship or that's married. So they don't give up. Those are the ones that, I mean, like NFL running back coming just busting through the hole.
But
you know,
with those type of women, I feel that they are emotionally damaged, so they don't want to be in a committed relationship. And why would I throw away my committed, healthy relationship for somebody that a woman that seeks somebody that's married or has a significant other? They're not looking for a commitment. They're just looking for a good time or whatever.
And that's exactly what I'm saying. They looking for nothing more.
Yeah.
They looking for the right now.
Yeah.
So those they have a plan as well.
Yeah.
You know, just like you have a plan with your significant other, they have a plan is to get you to forget about your significant other, whether it's 25 minutes or 30 minutes or an hour or a couple of hours or overnight.
Yeah.
You know, they gonna show out.
Yeah.
You know, not talking from experience though, but I'm just saying this is what happens. This is what happens. Not from experience. Not from experience. No.
You never had no women throw themselves at you.
No, not at all.
No,
not at all.
You didn't
not at all.
No. Where they at? Where is a line outside or something?
But you know what? That is so true with what you were saying, that women, both of you guys, I mean, they're out there. If you're married, I want you because you're married, because you can't fully commit to me.
You can't commit.
And then I don't have to have you around all the time because I can do my own thing.
Right.
But then, like you said, don't lose your train of thought. But like you said, if she's willing to do that, she's not complete within herself, whether she can be in a full relationship, and then you're going to throw everything away from someone that's not willing to be completely there for you.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. For me, other than birds and goldfish, usually women outnumber men, correct? Okay, and especially by marrying age, would you say, and I'm going to downsize this number, the ratio is usually 1 man to 7 women, right?
I know, last count, that's about what it was.
Okay.
1 to 7.
Okay, let's downsize it, and let's just say 5, right?
Okay.
So now, for every 1 man, there's 5 women. But you also have men that are incarcerated and or gay. So they just left 5, they're 5 on the table, true or true. So now that's 15 women to 1 man. And I downsized it. So now if it's 15 women to 1 man, that means that the odd to the flip side to the same coin is she's 1 in 15.
No, not all the way, because then you left out the women that are gay.
Right.
So let's downsize it again.
Okay.
So we'll take what? Maybe
Say
3?
3. So
Okay.
then you have
So
9.
So now we
Now
got
you got-
9 to
right.
1.
So I'm just saying,
So and
because
she's
we got
she's 1/9. So the odds are unfair for women. So I think that sometimes it's easier for a great man to get an awesome woman than it is for an awesome woman to get a halfway decent
That's
jerk. You know? So that's something that also is to think about. The actual numbers.
so
So
why
what's your view
people
on that?
so why
Resolution to
people
So what's your
cheat
view?
or
I'm asking her. So what would you think would be a rebuttal or your view on that?
I mean, that's true. I mean, women do outnumber men, so your dating pool is going to be a little bit smaller. But still, even with that, if you're in a committed relationship, you're in a committed relationship. Just because you have a bunch of extra people, women that you can choose from, it's like, I'm 1 man, I can have 9, so I'm going to, take 5 of my 9 and date them all,
But
or
you-
be with
but you also
be with
have-
all of them. It's like, I'm just gonna taste the rainbow because I
Right.
get a whole lot of Skittles.
Lord, I'm-
But like, what's the resolution if it's monogamy? Is monogamy? That's why some people are in open relationship or polygamy, and because they can't find just that one person, so you have a lot of different
Yeah.
Have you ever
dating options.
Have you ever?
Oh, wow, here you
I
come.
mean, have
Here
you
it
ever
come.
done
Here we go.
therapy
Uh-oh.
for couples that
Polyamorous
are
relationship?
polyamorous or polygamous relationships? Have you
I
ever done?
have not.
Oh, okay.
I have not, but I know
Okay.
of several people that are in
Alright,
poly relationships.
Dude,
What-
Can
which
you explain that
polyamorous
to
or
our
poly-
audience for those that don't know exactly that term?
Okay, it's when, say, you have a couple, say if we were a couple, and then within our relationship, that means that I can have 2 other dating experience as well as you. We actually may be married, and we may decide to only date other married couples. And there's rules to it. You still have rules. It's
swinging.
not
Isn't it
like
swinging?
well, swinging is you just kind of hooking up. But
Yeah.
this, and with some relationships, it may be a married couple and they decide to bring in just another woman. That's their agreement. Or they may bring in, like I say, a whole couple. And they
Right.
may have rules where that I'm with my husband on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then I'm with my alternate husband on Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. And it
Wow.
works for people.
Right.
It actually works.
Yeah.
It actually works. And I've had people say that after dating and trying to be monogamous, being in an open relationship is better for them. And the key is finding individuals that are like-minded. That goes back to being self-aware. What's going to best suit you? And then you have to find a partner that want the same thing.
Right. And also, I mean, one thing, and I mean, coming, young and dating multiple. Once again, not speaking from experience, but I know, some dudes that have done this. Dating multiple women, it keeps you tired, broke.
How you know?
I'm speaking
Oh,
for
right,
dudes,
right, right, for a
our
friend.
audience,
For a
yeah.
friend.
Because I know they tuning
Yeah.
in. I got you, homies. I got y'all.
Yeah. For
So,
a friend.
Well, you have to speak for them because
Right,
they
right, because they're
in.
not gonna call
They're
in.
not gonna
No,
call
they
in.
ain't gonna call
They-
in.
they
And
probably
it-
won't.
it's not me.
Right.
It's
Y'all,
not me.
y'all should call in.
Kevin gonna talk to
Y'all keeping
Kevin gonna
Kevin in the pickle.
Represent them brothers, and I'm sure we.
Just text Kevin.
I'm sure we
Text
all
Kevin.
have.
Make this
have
statement.
I mean, not some of us may not have been greedy, or some of them may have. I'm sure we all have in our adolescent years maybe they had 2 girlfriends, but when the number gets to 3 and 5 and more, and it's hit movies that's coming out, and you got to take each one to the same movie and act like you never seen that movie before, and you falling asleep, and how do you know what was gonna happen in that movie? I seen the previews where they never showed that part of the movie on the preview, so
The trailer.
so that helps push you into just like what this I
Yeah,
can't do
all
this
you
no
can
more.
say, I know the writer.
Right.
Yeah, I know the writer. He
I read the
talked
book.
about that
I read the
philosophy.
book.
Before it came out.
I read the book.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is a book.
Yeah, I
That
read the book.
whatever gets you, to the altar or in that committed relationship. Sometimes you got to go through some stuff.
Dude.
Because you just get tired.
You get tired.
You get
Woo, you
tired.
get tired.
Like
Do you get tired of being in the monogamous relationship, or what do you mean when you say get tired?
Of
well, like what you were
multiple women.
describing,
Doing
when you're
so
dating
much
multiple
multiple
women.
people because you're spending a lot of money, then you have to keep your story straight. And then I want to spend a day by myself, but if you're juggling 5 people, you ain't
It's
got no
hard
time
to
for
do.
yourself.
It's hard to do, from what I've heard.
From what
Yeah,
I
from what I've
heard,
heard.
too.
Yeah.
It's hard.
I heard it too.
I heard the same. Did you
Yeah,
hear
I
that?
heard that
I heard
story,
that,
too.
yeah, from what I heard.
Yeah.
But and then some people get tired of being in a monogamous
Yeah.
relation because I'm bored.
Right.
Boredom.
So
I'm
does that
bored.
mean you got in the wrong relationship?
Not necessarily. Just like I said, relationships, they evolve, they shift, and they may be the right person. Okay, let me give a disclaimer. This doesn't mean to get rid of your husband, your wife, your boo, or whatever. But they may be the right person for right now.
Right.
But as you evolve, you change. And how people say, oh, we just grew apart.
Right.
That's kind of true, but you're evolving. So that means that relationship is changing. So you actually have to, when your relationship take a shift, you have to check back in. Where are we now? I know you're you just started a new job. I just went back to school. 2 years ago, that wasn't happening. We were both at home at 5 o'clock having dinner, watching Jeopardy together. So now the relationship has shifted. How do we make adjustments for this? So you always have to be mindful with what's going on with you and within your relationship at that particular time.
Awesome. Okay.
It's almost like you don't invest and forget about your money. You don't check, you don't just get in a relationship and think that the relationship is just going to take care of itself. Doesn't happen.
And then
Okay,
too,
so-
you also
What
choose the
Let-
wrong
let me-
person as well too.
I think so, too.
Sometimes a lot of times that do happen.
It does.
The wrong
So-
person.
Oh, yeah.
Let me ask you this: what are some of the top 5 to 7, or the main problems in a relationship as to why a person would want to come and seek your information and help?
You know, outside of infidelity, but this is connected to it, is communication. And you guys talked about that.
You're right.
Is ineffective communication where, and I say this, we learn how to talk, to speak by the time we're year and a half. I would say my kids are I can't remember, but we spend a lifetime not knowing how to communicate. We talk at each other. We think we said what I told you about that. Well, I told you I was unhappy, but you didn't communicate in the way. I say it like this. You have to speak with the intentions of having that person understand, and that person have to listen with the intention of understanding.
What I said earlier today to somebody was, because men usually deal with logic and women also sometimes function on emotion. It seems as though to me, and maybe you guys can, give me your input as well, but our logical words falls on emotional ears. So we would have to almost ask her, what did you get out of what I just said? Okay, how did you
Exactly.
interpret what I just said? And
Exactly.
that's the work part of the communication, the work part of the relationship. I don't want to get off work and get back to work. I got to learn how to speak your language, but sometimes I just want to be able to speak these logical words without them falling on your emotional ears, and then now it's a whole different conversation. Is that almost like what you're saying?
Well, yeah, it is. And effective communication comes with listening. This is actually what I teach a lot of my couples before we even get down. We get to the why things are, but before we can actually resolve an issue, I teach a lot of communication skills, and I start with listening. Basically what you said, and we'll do not really role playing, but in session. I'll say...
She said role play. I'm sorry, babe. I'm in the same
We back to
page.
the 69.
I'm sorry, baby.
We back to the 69.
I'm in the same page, baby.
He got excited.
Man,
got
role
one
play.
hard nipple
Okay,
right
guys.
there. I got one hard nipple right
Cable
there.
guy.
Don't fan me, boo boo. I'm doing certain things.
Okay, so back to what I was saying. Role playing meaning we'll do this in sessions. I'll have say
Right.
You can't even say that.
I'm in the sessions, baby.
What section
sorry,
were
I'm
you
sorry.
in though?
I'm sorry, Lord. I'm
This is
sorry.
a commercial
Can we
break
get a
right now.
caller because
Forgive me.
We
Forgive
got
me, Lord.
role playing.
Okay,
in
my
somebody
bad.
call it save us.
My bad.
69. Let me make this quick point. But
Go ahead,
this is
Jack.
what I teach in my office.
In the office, baby. In the office.
Oh, Lord.
You're speaking of me, though. Janet, I apologize.
This is
I
something else
apologize.
you heard about.
I apologize,
I'm
Janet.
sorry. I'm sorry.
My
You lost
God.
me.
They just like little
for
bitty.
real though.
My goodness gracious. Janet,
We
I
went
apologize.
from role
What-
playing
I'm sorry. I'm
to
sorry.
What
Go ahead.
professional point was you about to make?
Oh,
yes, yes.
Oh,
Lord,
goodness.
please.
See, but you know what?
Elaborate.
This is actually good. This
It
is
is,
an
man.
example. Because what happens is when a person is talking, they give their interpretation of what's been said opposed to actually hearing what the person said. So what I end up teaching is kind of like what you said, like a while ago before all the emotions rolled in here with
Uh-huh.
the
Uh-huh.
is having that person actually reframe what did you hear me say.
Yes.
I'm kind of
Then ask questions for clarity before you give his head. Y'all see his head?
Daddy.
Y'all stop.
Hold on. This.
Oh,
on.
Lord
No,
Jesus.
because
Okay.
It's about
You
to go
know
all
what?
bad. It's about to get real bad in here.
This
Somebody
is-
call us. Time out. Time out. Can we go to
sleepy.
commercial?
I need a nap.
I'm sleepy.
And I'm
Oh
so
my
sorry.
goodness.
And,
Can-
but
can
please,
somebody
listen.
please
No,
call in?
Get the camera off.
Cigarette?
me.
Does anybody got a cigarette?
Go to somebody else.
Okay.
Oh,
I
go
don't
ahead.
know.
Go ahead. I'm so
Daddy,
we
Daddy.
were at the
I-
seven. The
you
seven
know
Daddy,
what?
main
just
thing.
tell me what you were going to say, and I'll read.
Yeah.
Okay,
'Cause
cameras
it's
over
later.
here. We're gonna finish this like this.
What point were you making, Jack?
I don't even know at this
Oh.
point. No, what the point that I was making. Okay, they're no longer in the shop, right? It's just me and you.
Yeah,
Can
Yeah,
Okay.
just y'all two, please.
Yes,
this is
Lord.
what we have spitting policies.
Yeah,
Lord
we spit
Jesus.
policies.
Yeah, we spit.
Okay, it's
She's-
really
That's what she did.
what I was saying is just what happened here is the misinterpretation of what a person is saying. So this is where couples, this is where a lot of problems lie. I can be saying one thing and you're interpreting it another whole different way without getting an understanding of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, and then before you even understand what I'm saying, you're giving your rebuttal on why that's wrong. So you never heard me in the first place.
Yeah. So, you know,
I
oftentimes people listen just to respond. They don't listen to understand.
Right, and that's what I call
Yeah.
communication blocks.
Yes,
There's
exactly.
communication blocks. You ready again? You ready? Are
yeah.
you ready to
Uh,
resume?
Yeah.
see,
I didn't got.
I'm just saying, are you ready to
Don't get
resume?
him started.
Go ahead.
I got my second win.
Are you ready? Because
I'm ready for the second one.
Are you ready? Okay. Okay. Is he ready?
Oh my goodness.
You know, it's like when you're a teacher
Oh,
and
my
you're in
goodness.
class, and it's like, okay, are you ready to come back to the rug
Yes,
with the rest?
I'm ready
Yes,
to come
okay.
back.
I'm just saying.
Yes, Lord.
Listen. Okay. But yeah, it's communication blockers. And when you're actually, while someone is talking, you're thinking of your rebuttal. Or you actually check out, you're no longer listening.
Right.
Or you're creating some other kind of defense, or you made an interpretation, so you never got a chance to hear what I was really saying. So that's why I teach couples basic communication skills that start with listening. You need to be able to tell that person, what did you hear me say? I heard you say this. Then ask questions for clarity. Well, when you said this, did you mean such and such? Okay, now I understand. Only just basically for the purpose of understanding. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to disagree with it. You need to understand what that person is trying to tell you.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Is there a certain or an average number of years that people have been married where problems usually kind of occur? Is there a window where usually, because I've heard of this 7-year itch.
7-year itch and
And-
14.
Right, and then I've also heard of people like, okay, like in the first year or two. So what are the most difficult that you've,
Have encountered with couple.
Right.
It doesn't matter. You can be married a year.
there's no
and
average
have
amount
average-
of that you see, a commonality between, which
I
is-
would say no, because
No.
that's like those saying if you trying to marry Vanessa Del Rio, why would you try to marry Vanessa Del Rio? You know, it's like trying to turn it. You know, the old saying, trying to turn pretty much a garden tool into a housewife.
you can say whore.
Whore? Okay, I
you
can
can
say
whore.
Yeah.
Turn a whore into a house.
So it's also that plays a factor. When you know where she come from and what her because sometimes we marry for
Okay.
other reasons, not because we love her, we feel that we can grow, but maybe because of certain qualities or things they can do.
Okay, but at the same token, though, we don't oftentimes, we shouldn't oftentimes marry somebody that is our exact parallel, because now we can't help each other. Where I may fall short, she may be strong. Where she, and vice versa. So, the speed bumps or the times of the speed bumps was my concern because I think that newlyweds, I don't know what that time window is, but newlyweds, they're still in that dopamine stage. But when I have to actually do life with you now, to have to do life with you is more difficult. So I was wondering if there was
it's not a set time because life is always in session, and things are happening. And like I said, and I'm sounding redundant about your relationship taking a shift. It could take a hit. Somebody unfortunately could lose a parent. You can have a child. You can change job. You can lose your job. You could buy a house, lose a house. So all these existential things are happening all the time. So it's no time frame with the 7-year itch or okay, you're getting bored. And it's something that one of you guys mentioned. Oftentimes, if you end a relationship, it could be in the 5th year, 7th year, 20th year. Sometimes you can look back. That same reason why you ended that relationship, it was there in the beginning. But most of the time, we ignore those things. Or either we say, it's cute. Oh, he's so cute. Or, that's how she is. And brush over it.
Yep.
But then it rears its head. And when you go back to it, it's the...
Can I tell you why we ignore it? You know what I mean? It could have been the sex was really great at year 5.
Yeah, you were
then
under
year
the
20,
influence.
it was like she
Ooh,
no longer.
I like
she
the way
no
You were
longer,
under the influence.
I like the way she put
Huh?
that.
You
were
said the
under
sex
the
was
influ-
good?
Yeah, but
You were
then
under
year
the
20,
influence.
Yeah, you were under
The
the
influence.
because-
I think the sex life has a lot to do with
definitely.
Yeah.
It does.
cheating.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
I'm saying in year 5 the sex is great. Then year 20 it's not the same. You don't even get it that much. You like okay, she don't even care to. It's like the desire has just fleeted and went out the window.
intimacy is gone?
She'll wear the t-shirt to bed instead of the lingerie that she started with when we
Damn,
was.
But
I
then do you
prefer
have
the
a-
t-shirt.
Huh?
I prefer the
Well,
t-shirt.
to me the lingerie
I mean,
is much better.
T-shirt is sexy too.
I prefer socks.
Especially when it's butt
I
naked
prefer
up
socks.
under there.
You come up in here with socks.
When
That's
that's
it.
my
You don't
favorite
like
color.
Kobe. You don't
I'm
like
just
Kobe.
My
making a
favorite
point.
color is butt naked.
But
Okay.
see,
All right, we got
we
very
back-
little time.
We back to
Okay.
69.
We got very
Okay.
little time.
But-
So look, one of the things that I told people was,
Did you hear we
in a
we have very little
relationship,
time?
I heard you.
Okay.
In a relationship, everybody's like a tea bag. You don't know how strong they are until they're in hot
Have you
water.
tried that?
But the hot water is required. Period.
That's
No.
true.
We'll
Teabag. Teabag.
So Janet, give us your information so if somebody wants to get in contact with
and
you,
some resolutions.
they can.
Give us some
Yeah.
of your information, some resolution, and your information.
All right, my information. Well, I'll just give you my phone number: 310.
Hold on.
Oh my gosh, 310-567-5231. You can give me a call, and if you call me from a result of this show, please let me know that.
Yes.
Then
Yes,
I
let
will
her
give
know.
you a free consultation.
Uh-oh.
So give me a call and
What's
say,
the
I heard you guys, blah, blah, blah. I'm cheated. I've been cheated on. And I'm just trying to get some help, trying to find myself, locate myself. So give me a call. Resolution, self-awareness. Self-awareness, self-awareness. And to the young man that called in, call me. That was talking about the boundary and the work, and it's like you're in a dodgeball game. Sound like people throwing it at you. Call me, and we can talk about boundaries.
Okay. All right. Sounds
Yeah.
good.
Throwing it. Oh,
Does anybody
well,
have a-
I know we getting ready to wrap this one
That's
up.
the
This
time
was,
already?
man, that hour go by
How
fast,
much time we got
man.
left? This is the time.
Probably
that's it?
like 2 minutes.
Nah.
2 minutes,
What?
man.
So, too.
You may have to extend. Oh, not extend.
See, there we
prolong.
go. Intoxication
the show.
is real.
He need
I-
to grow
But
up. He ain't
we
right.
we really glad you was able to. When we talked to you last year, the wait was well worth it.
Oh,
As I'm
thank
sure you enlighten us, and I'm sure you enlighten our audience too. So you guys got her information. If you're thinking about cheating, if you got cheated on, if you in the process, if you ain't where you supposed to be right now, call her.
In your relationship.
So we good night, good show. We'll see you next Wednesday.
Real quick, we're also going to plan a policy. Next month is Black History Month, as well as Valentine's Day. So we're going to address some of those issues with we're going to combine Black History and Valentine's Day. Love your black, I guess. Love your black month.
Yeah.
How about that?
So
we're going to have
Black
that
love.
as well as
get you some black Valentine.
how it relates to
Somebody calling you already.
Somebody
Somebody calling already. They're like,
See, they felt guilty. I told you they were somewhere where they wasn't supposed to be.
We're gonna
leave me a message. I'll hit you back.
we have some people that are actually amongst us right now, and even we are making some Black history. So I applaud the guys and the people, the engineers and the folks that help make this show possible. So next month, Black History and Valentine's Day. So it's gonna be Black
Please
Love.
come back and join
next
us
month.
next week.
next
Wednesday,
Yes,
same
as well.
time.
Learn to listen when it's grown men talking, cause real spit you don't find that often. Learn to listen when it's grown men talking, cause real spit you don't find that often. Every discussion from experience, and hopefully within it delivers some deliverance. It's all facts and opinionated, from the west where that real spit originated. Brothers truly trying to save a soul, provoke thought so we can really designate a goal. We on that grown man scribble, the ball in our court with command on the dribble. This is something that'll help the show, cause it's something that'll help us grow. We see exactly what the people need. Now welcome to the show, Spitting Policies. Welcome to the show, Spitting Policies. Welcome to the show, Spitting Policies. Learn to listen when it's grown men talking, cause real spit you don't find that often. Learn to listen when it's grown men talking, cause real spit you don't find that often. Spitting Policies.